Right guys, Trance back again. We're going to be doing our trance track from scratch, but this time we're going to be looking at atmospheres. Now I know quite a few of you struggle on this one, so listen up and have a watch the video. Let's go. So guys, what my ideas are, have some vocal atmospheres as well as some synth atmospheres just to fill out the sound a little bit. Very useful tip to make sure that your track doesn't sound bland and boring like so many other tracks you can hear these days. Try and make your track move a little bit and stand out, be a little bit different. So I think we'll start off with some vocal atmospheres first. So there's plenty of places where you can get vocal atmospheres from. My favourite one is actually MyLoops, so have a look at MyLoops online, myloops.net. They have tons of samples out there, they're really useful. You could use Splice, that could also be useful. I don't use that, but I get told it's supposed to be pretty good. So I'm going to plonk in some vocal atmospheres. So we're going to use it from this pack I got from MyLoops. Planet Sample Vocals, I think, and we're going to look at some atmosphere vocals off here. It doesn't have to be in class as an atmosphere. You can just use type of vocal ad-libs, whatever. Our bass notes in this is in F, so I'm going to do the vocals in the key of F. Most samples you will get will have the key there. If they're not there, you can change the key if you want, but that's for another video. Now the most fun part.
2 hours later.
Okay, I've picked some samples. Hopefully these sound pretty good. Well, I know they sound pretty good. But let's see what the issue is when I first play it. They're super loud, okay? So atmospheres you want to have in the back of the mix. You want it just to take up some air. A lot of the times the normal listener won't even hear them, but if you take them out the track, they'll make the massive know I'm going to have to drop these levels really far down. So I've got two inserts here, vocal atmosphere and vocal atmosphere 2. These are going to have to drop quite a bit just so they fit. Sound alright, but they don't flow off the track. So what we're going to do first of all is add a little bit of some LFO tool just to dip them a touch, very slightly. Right, so let's try and get them to not sound too boring. So we're going to have some auto panning in, so what we're going to do is make them go left to right very slightly. There's a few things we're going to do. That's the first. I'm being a bit lazy here, so what I've done is added both of these vocal inserts to go to vocal atmosphere bus, so I can pan them at the same time. So I'm just going to use Pan-O-Matic here, and I'll isolate these so I can hear them. Cool. What I did notice though, there was a very slight click in the LFO tool, so we're going to have to make sure this is not a perfectly sharp end. This is what causes the clicks, and if you don't have it as smooth, be forgetting simple things as usual. If you want, you can be a bit fancy. You could pan them left to right slightly, the different voxes, just to make it slide a bit wider. Sounding pretty good now. Another thing I like to do, I like to transgate them, very classic style. So normally for FL Studios you could use Grow Speed. I'm going to use Vengeance's, what's it called again? I think it's called Transgate, if I can find it. Finally found it. I had it under Sidechain, which I set these up myself. Maybe I'll show you that another time as well. So Transgate is just a simple gate and plugin. You could be as creative as you want in this, so this is what it sounds like on default. Too much. Why don't we only use half of the Transgate? So bring this down. Pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. You could even automate the amount of Transgate, so why not right click, create automation. Right, sounded pretty good. Let's see what it sounds like in the mix now. Right, I don't know if you can hear it, but there's something wrong in the frequencies on these, and I'm going to fix it. See if you can hear it. and that's apart from the clicking. In fact, actually, I tell you what, I'm not sure where it is. I'll get me Ghost Producer, 2 seconds. Right, it looks like she found it. Yeah, there's some bass in here I don't like. It's actually not even some bass, it's some low mid. This here. And I'll take all the bottom out. Be honest, I could probably take not as much out. Right, I think I'm happy with this. This is what it sounds like. Very simple, but it does the job. Right, I'll do one synth atmosphere and we'll call that a day. Right, I'll do something a bit different. I'll use absinthe. I haven't used this in ages actually. I do tend to use Spire a lot more, but you can get some really cool atmospheric effects in this. It's more built for atmospheric effects than anything. Again, we're going to have the bass note, which was F. Definitely not what I'm after, but it sounds pretty cool. Okay, right, I found one. Sounds quite nice. I didn't want hardly any low end in it. More floating type sound, and this is what we got. I've lowered the volume down significantly. You just want it in the backgrounds. I might even push it out wider, which I will, in fact. I'll use a plugin to do that. Right, I've used Infected Mushrooms wider to make it a lot wider. Issue with this, I feel like it does colour the sound very slightly. Now, because of that, it's going to introduce volume, so I've dropped it even further down. With the other vocal atmospheres in. Sounds okay. Now, what's going through my mind at the moment is the sound is pretty cool and it's got that nice atmospheric feeling, but I do hear some resonances which later on might become an issue. So some frequencies are jumping out at me. I'll leave it as it is for the moment and hopefully it doesn't mess up the mix in the future. We'll go back to that later. Altogether, this is what it sounds like with in the mix. Now it's very subtle there, but you can hear, that's the whole point. There's a massive difference when you turn them on and off. So I'll do it again and then I'll solo them on and off. On. Off. I'll leave them super subtle at the moment, but again, later on in the mix, we can boost them up if there's enough room. But yeah guys, that's it. If you found something very interesting, leave a like please, subscribe to the video, and next time, I think we're going to start with the arrangement now. Since we've got most of our elements to start with the intro, I'll get the arrangement down. I'll see you then.